Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, your relationship just isn't working? You try to talk, but it turns into an argument. You try to fix things, but nothing changes. Maybe you love your partner, but something feels off. Maybe they love you too, but it doesn't feel the way it used to. If you've ever been there, trust me, you are not alone. I've talked to so many people who say the same thing. Why does this feel so much harder than it should be? And the truth is, love isn't always enough. It's a beautiful foundation, but if the structure built on top of it is shaky, bad communication, unmet needs, growing resentment, love alone can't hold it together. Expectations versus reality. Most of the time, the struggle isn't even about love at all, it's about expectations. And this is where a lot of people go wrong without realizing it. Think about it. Have you ever expected something from your partner, but they didn't deliver? Maybe you wanted them to text you throughout the day, but they didn't. Or maybe you thought they'd notice you were feeling down, but instead they just went about their day like nothing was wrong. And suddenly, instead of just feeling disappointed, you start feeling hurt. Let's take a real example. Imagine it's your anniversary, and you were expecting something special, maybe a date, a gift, some big romantic gesture. But instead, your partner just says, "Happy anniversary," and moves on with their day. Now you're upset. You start thinking, do they even care about me? But here's the part that stings. You never actually told them what you wanted. You assumed they'd just know. And this is where a lot of relationships break down. We expect our partners to read our minds. We think if they loved me, they'd just know what I need. But that's not how relationships work. No one is a mind reader. If something is important to you, you have to say it. If you need reassurance, ask for it. If you feel unheard, communicate that clearly. The problem isn't always what your partner isn't doing. It's that they don't know what you need because you haven't told them in a way they understand. The right way to communicate. And this brings me to communication, because a lot of people think they're communicating when they're really just venting or complaining. Let's be honest. Have you ever said something like this to your partner? "You never listen to me," or "You don't even care how I feel." Sounds familiar, right? The problem with these statements is that they don't invite a conversation. They just put the other person on the defensive. Now, imagine a different approach. Instead of saying, "You never listen to me," you say, "Sometimes when we talk, I feel like I'm not being heard. I really want to feel like we're on the same page. Can we work on that together?" That small shift changes everything. The first statement makes your partner feel like they're being attacked. The second one makes them feel like you're inviting them into a solution. So the next time you feel frustrated in your relationship, ask yourself, am I communicating in a way that actually helps? Or am I just expressing my emotions in a way that makes my partner shut down? Love languages and unmet needs. Now, let's talk about something that can make or break a relationship. Love languages. Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, your partner still isn't happy? Like maybe you go out of your way to do things for them, but they still seem distant. That's because we all express love differently. Let's say you've been buying your partner gifts, surprising them with little things, spending money to make them happy. But they still seem disconnected. You start thinking, "I'm doing all this," and they don't even appreciate it. Meanwhile, your partner is thinking, "I don't care about gifts, I just want more time together." That's the problem. People express love in different ways. Maybe your love language is gift-giving, but theirs is quality time. Maybe you show love by doing things for them, but they crave words of affirmation. And if you don't know your partner's love language, you might be putting in effort in all the wrong places. You might be saying, "I love you," in a way they don't understand. Love isn't just about giving, it's about making sure what you give is received. So ask yourself, do you know your partner's love language, and do they know yours? The silent, even when love is strong, there's something that can quietly destroy a relationship: resentment. And the worst part? It doesn't happen overnight. It builds little by little, until one day, the love that was once there is buried under a pile of unspoken disappointments. Let's say your partner forgot your birthday. You didn't say much about it, maybe even laughed it off, but deep down it stung. And then a few months later, they forget something else, and that old hurt comes back stronger. Suddenly, it's not just about them forgetting things, it's about them not caring. But did they actually stop caring? Or did the past wound make the current situation feel worse? Resentment builds when small things are left unspoken. The only way to prevent it is to catch it early. If something bothers you, don't let it sit. Say, hey, this hurt me. Can we talk about it? Before it turns into a wall between you two. How to fix a struggling relationship. So what can you actually do if your relationship feels like it's falling apart? First, check your expectations. Are they fair? And more importantly, have you actually voiced them? Second, look at how you communicate. Are you making it easy for your partner to listen? Or are you putting them on the defensive without realizing it? Third, learn their love language. Are you showing love in a way they understand? Or are you just assuming they feel loved because you would in their position? And finally, don't let resentment build. If something is bothering you, talk about it before it festers. Relationships aren't about finding the perfect person who just magically gets you. They're about learning how to work together, how to communicate, how to meet each other's needs. The happiest couples aren't the ones who never fight. They're the ones who know how to work through their struggles together. So if this video helped, drop a comment below. What's one thing you wish you knew about relationships sooner? Let's help each other out.